Hey, life fixers. Hope you're having an awesome day. Are you ready to better understand yourself, your partner, and your marriage with the law of attraction? Today, I don't know what you know about the law of attraction. I'm pretty sure you heard of it because we mentioned it quite a few times on this podcast. And even if you're new here, it is something that a lot of people know about. But whether you do or you don't, I want you to get something from today's episode. So, if there's any part of this episode that you like and you think anybody else will enjoy it and learn from it too, don't forget to share with them right away. So that way you're helping us reach our goal of 1 million downloads per episode, and you'll be helping yourself and your friend or family, whoever else you send the episode to. Okay, so for today's guest, we have an author, transformational teacher, dream and mindset coach, energy healer, a whole bunch of stuff. Judith Joy, together with her husband, Bruce. Thank you so much, Judith and Bruce, for being here. I'm excited to be speaking with you. You want to start by telling us how you guys met?
We met on a cruise out of Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and we were going to the Bahamas. It was an instructional cruise, so a lot of lectures and stuff like that. And a mutual friend talked both of us into going.
Planning to set you up.
No. So it was on the cruise.
So much fun. That is a fun place to meet. How long was the cruise for?
3 days.
3 days. Oh, wow. So, okay.
Within 5 minutes of meeting him, I was like, he's interesting. And I moved my chair closer.
Did you think the same, Bruce?
I know what she was doing. The guy that invited us, the doctor that invited us on the cruise, they were already on the deck. And I came because I got on the boat. They were still already on the boat when I got on the ship or whatever it is. And so he says, come over here and tell your story. So I started telling my story. And that's when she picked her chair up and moved close to me.
And we've been together ever since. That night, Dr. Janer, who introduced us, was showing a medical device in Bruce's room. And so we went in the room, and a bunch of people were in there. And so I sat on the bed because I've already seen it. And Bruce said, here, give me your feet. And he massaged my feet. And I'm like, I'm taking you home with me. And then the next night, he ate dinner with a group of friends, and I ate dinner with a group of different friends. But I ate earlier, so I went and found him. And so he was sitting on one side of the table, and I was sitting on the other, and some crazy lady was sitting in the middle. And I'm like, this is not going to work for me. And I picked up my chair and moved it next to his.
For the second time.
and that's so unlike her character. I mean, that's totally off the chart.
Is she what, more like shy or more just goes with the flow? What do you mean?
Yeah, she's a very conservative, shy person. That's just way out of her wheelhouse completely.
Yeah, to actually stake my claim.
Okay, so Bruce, what was your story that was so interesting that made Judith move her chair over?
Well, I was a chiropractic physician until the year 2000. And I had a very, very large personal injury practice that consisted of an orthopedic surgeon, a neurosurgeon, a neurologist, a GP, an acupuncturist, and physical therapist. And we took care of about 150 patients a day. So all of my patients had lawyers. It was a PI practice. All my patients were hurt by somebody else and had a lawsuit. So as a result of that, I had to do a lot of court work. And during my 38 years of practice, I've probably been to court 400 times telling my patient's story in front of a jury. So and then while I was in practice, I had come up with a medication for herpes and sold it to a large pharmaceutical company.
It was for cold sores.
Cold sores.
It's cool. That is really, really cool.
So yeah, I had a story to tell and she wanted to listen.
Yeah, and then after he retired, he moved to Costa Rica for 9 years.
I did.
And now lives in Florida. Moved back to Florida after that. And that's where you guys met. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Judy, I know that you also have a story of changing your name to Joy. I love the way you made that legal. Tell us about that.
Oh, okay. I was getting divorced and I didn't want his name. He was doing some things that were a little bit shady, and I just didn't want to be associated with it. So I was like, okay, I want a new name. And I would go around and I'd look at things and I'm like, oh, diamonds. I like diamonds. How about Judith Diamond? No, that wasn't quite it. And then I was like, well, I like this. How about that? And I tried all these different things. Then I walked into the media room, which was our TV room. And in order to walk there, I had to go through the living room. And I saw a book and I was like, oh, I should put this on the shelf. Well, the book had been there for a long time, but I had the moment, the inspired action to pick up the book and put it on the shelf. And there was one slot open. So I put it on the shelf and I look at the book next to it. Are you happy? And I went, oh, okay. That looks interesting. I pulled it out, looked at it. Then I sat down and started doing some writing, and the word joy came up. And I was like, okay, whatever. I went in to get lunch. And while the lunch was cooking, I was reading an article about a woman who changed her last name to Joy. And I went, oh, I get it. The universe was telling me Joy is my last name. And that's how I got it.
Oh, how many years ago was this?
2015.
Oh, wow. Okay. So not that long ago. Do you like it? I love the sound of it. Judith Joy. Like it just rolls so well.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Yeah, it's fun to say.
Yeah. Okay. Now I also know that you've attracted your man into your life. Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote a book about it.
Dear future lover. How is that?
I had read somewhere that you write a journal and you write it from the perspective of already having whatever you want. So I wrote a series of letters to my future husband. It was, dear future husband, da, 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 da. And I did this for maybe 2 months. And then I put it away. It just went, in a cleaning frenzy, it got put away. And I didn't think about it again. But let me tell you, you have to be really careful what you write because it comes true. I wrote that that I'm not that interested in politics. I didn't know if you are, but it's just not my thing. That's his soap opera. He loves politics. Maybe if I hadn't touched on it at all, it wouldn't have been there. But after I'd met him, I was going through the nightstand and I'm like, oh, a journal, yay. And I opened it up and I went, oh, there's writing in it. And I started reading it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I just said he makes me a better me. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. I just said this. I just said this. I just said this. And so I decided to write a book. And the book is basically the principles that apply to the law of attraction. It has also samples of the journal entries and how those particular journal entries showed up. So it's very easy reading. And you can
now
read it in order.
I'm really interested in how you frame the laws of the rules of the law of attraction, because I always had this as a kid, this love-hate thing with the law of attraction. And as I got older, I understood it in a more mature way and now say it very, very differently than what I said when I was 10 years old. You know what I mean? When I watched Secret for the first time. So if you had to describe in 2 sentences, the rules of the law of attraction, what would you say they are?
In 2 sentences.
And you could make it longer, but you know what I'm talking about.
It's a big book.
Is that too long for you?
Well, what I've done is divide it down into principles. Intention is one principle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, know what you're going for. That's basically what it is. So if you're trying to attract something or someone, know exactly what you're going for. You don't want to, when I say exactly, I don't mean he's got to be 6'2" and muscles out to here and, all that stuff. I was going for someone who was kind, who had integrity, who was honest. And he treated me really well. And I wanted someone that was a good father figure. And when I'd written out my list, I'd written good father figure. Then I went on a date, just, a random date. And the guy liked peanut M&Ms, crunchy peanut butter, and he cut articles out of magazines for me. I'm like, that's my father. So I went back and looked at my list and I went, oh, I meant a good father figure for my kids, not for me.
Yeah.
So to adjust a little bit.
You could get really specific. We had recently in episode 240, Marsha and Dan Nelson, they came on, or she actually my mentor, and she spoke more about doing with your non-dominant hand, because then you access your subconscious. And she literally like wrote down to his shoe size, the fact that he has glasses, all those things. And also the fact that all the good, like general traits that she had. And literally most of them came true.
Yeah. But then you start obsessing about the things that really aren't that important.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very much true. Yeah.
One thing that was important is in conversation, even before she got divorced from her husband, she said, my next husband's going to be a chiropractor.
Is that true? Like, really? Like, what made you, why did you care so much about that?
Because I was going to the chiropractor all the time and I wanted it to be convenient.
So, and with that, I'm going to tell you a story. Okay. When we moved into this building, we decided to go to dinner with a few people that also live in this building. And it was a urologist and there were some doctors at the table, and they were all talking about their practices. And the urologist was talking about prostate. And I mean, you know, we're in that age group that everybody complains about everything going on. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, nowhere, and this is so unlike her, she said, I sleep with a naked chiropractor.
No, I haven't.
I have a naked chiropractor. And I looked around and everybody looked at her. I was ready to get on the table. And what she meant by that is at 3:00 in the morning, if her neck's hurting, I'm on the hook, because she has other chiropractors and other doctors, and I don't interfere with that at all. But I'm there if I'm needed, no matter what time it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a good husband.
He's willing to wake up in the middle of the night.
Oh, wow.
It's really
And no practice anymore, right? I mean, you still have all your knowledge and all your stuff, but you don't like.
No, I'm concentrating now on inventions. I'm an inventor. I have like 9 medical patents, and I have a new medication coming out in the next few weeks called Relief Roller. And I have a partner that's a shark from Shark Tank, and is for mask irritation and itch relief, bug bites, any kind of pain that you have on the skin, rashes and so forth. And it's on a roller, and you just roll it on, and in a few minutes, everything's gone.
That is so cool. I might just need one.
Yeah, it's FDA approved and patented.
Oh, wow. Okay. So let's get back to our rules of the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know, be super clear, be intentional.
Wait, gotta get to the list. Okay, then you've got things like questions. Questions are so important because when you have a question, you've got some wiggle room. And it's not the yes or no questions, it's the open-ended questions.
So what do you mean by you should write questions?
Everything in your life, just keep asking questions.
So ask questions about, not like, should I have this, but give it like maybe better. You give me some examples. What sort of questions?
Okay. What would it take for you to have a podcast that's even better than you have now?
Okay.
Something popped in your head, and that is the universe going, hey, there's a possibility over here that you haven't looked at.
Right.
Most people make a conclusion. This is as good as it gets. Okay, then the universe agrees with you because the universe wants you to be right. So it depends what you're putting out in the universe.
Yeah.
Know what you're saying, what you're feeling. And by the way, if you're thinking one thing and you're feeling something else, the feeling rules.
Yeah. It's like Henry Ford said, whether you think you're right or you think you're wrong, you're right. Or however the word is right. I don't know. I just messed up that, but you know what I'm talking about. Yes. Those open and those questions are, I think they're not only for yourself. I think they're also in general, they're good questions to ask the people around you. Like if you want to make your marriage better or in your career, or how can we as a whole, like what can we do to improve this? Or what other options do we have? Really go and raise the level up in every area.
Yeah. What you want to avoid are the yes and no questions, because those aren't really expansive questions.
Right.
Expansive ones. How does it get better than this? What else is possible? What would it take to create whatever it is you want to create? He asked me one yesterday, and then he was so proud that he asked the question. Because I'm always asking questions. I never thought that I was good at asking questions.
She's the queen of asking questions. Believe me.
But my mother was great at questions. And she would meet somebody and start asking questions, and they would leave the conversation and think that she was just the most wonderful person in the world. And they didn't know anything about her, but she was interested in them. So it was a different reasoning, I guess. So when I'm asking questions, I'm like really digging in. Please tell me.
And then really listening to what they're saying.
Yeah. And then from the listening, another question pops up and you ask that. And then another question pops up. What most people, I don't even know if it's most people. A lot of people ask a question and then think about the answer and think, and they're looking for the right answer. But that's not what it is. The first thing that pops in your mind, that's the one you go with. There's a book out there about 7-second intuition or something like that. And it's what pops up in the first 7 seconds. And then when you get really good, it's what pops up in the first 2 or 3 seconds. Because that's the universe sort of whispering in your ear. If things are being yelled at you, you either haven't listened or it's not the universe talking.
A good example of that is she wanted me to go to the doctor to get my ears checked. The bad thing about it is when the doctor got through examining my ear, my hearing, he said, "Your hearing is perfect." I said, "You just got me in big trouble." So when I got home, I said, "There's nothing wrong with my hearing." She said, "Well, why don't you listen?"
I went so far as to say that my daughter should go with him because she talks very loudly. And why don't you guys go together? And so he came back and said, "Well, Shoshi, it's really easy." She's like, "I know, I've had hearing tests done before. We were just doing that to get you to go."
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're really good.
It backfired on both of us.
Well, now do you listen?
No.
I'm a man. Okay. I look for things like a man.
Okay. Explain looking like a man.
When I go into a room to find something, it's right there in front of me, but I don't see it.
Only man.
I'll go and say, I don't know where it's at. It wasn't in there. And she'll go in there and here it is. So I find that that's quite common with men.
But the thing is, not only with men, moms are really good at finding stuff. And once you do more of the law of attraction work and you get rid of all the limiting programs that you have, your intuition gets really good. And my son was in high school and lost his car keys. And I happened to be in Michigan. And I'm like, "Okay, look in your closet in your boots." And he's like, "What?" And it's like, you put them in your pants. For some reason, you hung your pants up. They fell out of your pants and they went in his boots. And that's exactly what happened.
That is crazy.
I know it is. And I knew this was true because I'm a pilot. And my instructor told me, he said, "Never let your wife take flying lessons." I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because she'll fly circles around you." Because women are more meticulous. And I always feel more comfortable when a woman walks into the cockpit.
You guys, okay. What do we have? What's our next rule?
Another rule, keep as possibilities. Keep reaching for a more useful possibility. They're not right or wrong, good or bad. They're just useful or not useful. And if you think of possibilities and you think of them in terms of feelings, then you can literally imagine, have you watched The Price is Right? And they've got the game, the behind door number 1, behind door number 2. Well, imagine 1,000 doors in front of you. Which door has the feeling of what you're going for? So if you want a really good relationship with a lot of cuddling, and you imagine what cuddling feels like, and then you're like, okay, that door over there, and that one there, and that one there, and there. And, oh, I got to go down the hall and around the corner. And yeah, it's back there. And you just keep finding, you touch the points that have the feeling. What you're doing is you're identifying that there are a lot of possibilities out there. And you're also feeling the feeling every time you touch it. So the feeling gets stronger. And the stronger the feeling gets, the more likely you are to bring it in, because what you focus on is what you get. So if you're focused on the feeling of the cuddling, you're going to get cuddling. If you're focused on, oh, he never touches me and he's always over there, and I just really want him to cuddle me, but I'm so disgusted, and your focus isn't on the cuddling.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not being over there.
And pushing away. So you're getting exactly the opposite.
What do you, before you continue, Judith, Bruce, what do you think of this whole law of attraction?
I thought it was really interesting once we started to get together and she brought out the different things that she had written down and really believed in. And even though she forgot and put it away, it fit so well that I think it, and her book, if people are trying to figure out their next step in a relationship and what they want, her book is excellent for that on
okay.
the
Thanks.
Questions you need.
He's a really good supporter.
He's good. What do you think about the law of attraction? Well, first off, I was an energy healer. And then I sort of morphed into healing with manifestation. And the law of attraction is part of that.
Yeah.
So when we first started dating, I was like thinking I was all that. Feel this. And I'm holding him, feel the energy. And I'm like, do you feel it? Do you feel it? He goes, yeah. And I can see it too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but she's powerful. She's really powerful. Let me tell you how powerful she is. After she said she wanted to put me in her suitcase. Well, I didn't fit in her suitcase to go home with her. So we kept talking. And so I came up to Highland Park, which is 30 miles north of Chicago. And we just wanted to see if our relationship would grow and where it would go. And I started getting a pain in my...
You did not get it then.
Yes, a year and a half later.
Oh.
It was a year and a half after I was with you.
Okay.
And so I didn't say anything to her about it, and it kept getting worse and worse. And it was in the same spot. It was the ascending colon. And so all my doctor friends were down in Tampa. So I got on a plane and went to Tampa, got an MRI, flew back to Chicago.
This was actually a year later.
Okay. Okay, a year later. I'm not good on time. And so he calls me. He said, "You're in trouble." I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "You got a tumor on the inside of your ascending colon." And I said, "Okay, what would you do next?" He said, "You need a colonoscopy now." So I looked around in Chicago area in Highland Park and found one. I won't go into how I found it. but I found the doctor. And I didn't really meet him until we were at the hospital. And we're in this little room. And she's doing energy on this tumor that's in my ascending colon. And so being a chiropractor, I'm a touchy-feely kind of healer. Okay. I can't adjust you unless I touch you. So what happened, the doctor came in and he throws the MRIs up and he said, "Yeah, there it is right there. Don't worry about it. I'm going to go in the inside. I got cameras. I'm going to take a picture of it. I'll do a biopsy. We'll come and get you in about 10 minutes. And you'll be there about 20 minutes. And then I'll come back to the room and give you the results." Said, okay, so she's continuing to do energy over my acetylcholine. And I said, just touch it. And when she did, I felt a flip in my colon. So then they came and got me, put me under anesthesia, did the colonoscopy, put me back in the room where we both were. The doctor comes in shaking his head. Said, I don't understand. Here it is. Here's the new pictures. It's gone. The healing part of my wife is very, very powerful. And what it was she convinced me that it wasn't there. She convinced me that it was gone. So it's not her doing the healing. It's her doing a transformation to me that I don't need that thing. It belongs to somebody else. Get it out there. It's documented.
That is so cool. Oh, God. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So do you really, change of question, if someone else is in some sort of medical situation, what do they have to do to heal themselves like that?
Love. It's so huge. Most people don't realize it. You know, if you talk about a situation, I'm going to fight it. Well, fighting is not love. And there's always an emotional component for anything that's going on. And you just keep love, 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 love. And love raises your vibration. And when you are a high vibe, you keep going up and, you know, whatever it is can't find you because your vibe is so high. So the more you are in love, and that's love yourself. Love, if you've got a tumor, love the tumor. Surround it with love. Fill yourself up with love and massage it with love and everything with love and love and love. And what makes the law of attraction work is your personal vibration. If you're a low vibe, like depression, apathy, shame, blame, you know, those types of things, you don't have a lot of energy to get anything done. So it takes force to get things done. You move up the scale and you move to anger. Well, anger is not fun. You have more energy to get stuff done. Move up the scale again, and you get to the point where you accept responsibility for everything in your life. And it may not be that so-and-so did whatever, but you accept your part in it. And then from there, you just keep your energy in love and gratitude and kindness and calm and peace and things like that. When you're in a high vibrational state, you can actually think it and it can happen. And that's a lot of what happened then. I raise my vibration super high and I just fill myself with love. And then I transfer the love.
But it was transferring your love works because
It's a
like I get the whole part up until the transferring. Like, how does that make his tumor go away?
Well, he's got to believe that it can.
I accepted her love.
Yeah. So if I'm holding his shoulder, I'm just holding it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything.
Oh, I feel the energy.
But I'm feeling love and I'm feeling love and it's just coming out because I fill up myself and then it sort of spills out. In the Bible, it talks about love your neighbor as yourself. But what that actually means, you know, people take it the wrong way. Oh, I have to love my neighbor and I have to have service and put out and all that other stuff. You cannot love anyone more than you love yourself. So that's why you fill yourself up with love and then you send out the rest.
So as an energy healer, what you do the whole time, like in very, very simple words, is you fill yourself up with love and then pass it on to whoever you're working with.
We watched a video together with about 3 energy healers. Watched, it was in China, and there was an ultrasound on a woman's uterus, and you could see the tumor. And these energy healers started giving the love and the energy to this lady. And on film, you could watch the tumor disappear until it was gone. It was absolutely incredible.
Now, there's a difference between high vibe love and low vibe love. A low vibe love is a barter. I love you if, and that's not really what love is. Love is just this feeling of expansiveness where you just share and you feel it and you just feel it and you feel it and you feel it. And I'm going to love you no matter what. It doesn't matter if I agree with you or disagree with you. I'm going to love.
So here's like a bit, I don't know. I hope I'm not like trying to offend you. I'm just trying because I'm really curious. Do you ever as energy healer and you have to love everyone unconditionally to be able to work. Do you ever feel that you disagree, not because of their values or something, but because they did something, I don't know, let's say shady, that type of thing or something, and you sense it and feel like you can't do the work with them?
Well, here's the thing. As my vibration goes up, I'm going to attract people who like that vibration. So the shady people are not going to be attracted to work with me.
They go away.
It's just sort of they don't show up. So if you want a better quality of person in your life, you start raising your vibration and feeling better. And then the people that you don't want in your life just sort of fall away.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Every once in a while, she'll tell me, you better put it in gear because your vibration's not quite as high as mine.
Are you serious? Is that annoying?
No.
It's just that she's in a constant mode of educating herself and making that energy higher and higher and higher. It's hard to keep up with her.
Okay, so what happens is my vibration goes up, and a good-hearted person will be like, oh my goodness, there's the path. I want to go up with you. Someone who has a heart that, isn't so good-hearted will be like, never mind.
Yeah.
So you're vibrating at one level. Other people are vibrating that you're talking to at this level. I don't know if you got videos, but
yeah, it's on YouTube for everybody watching, whoever is watching. And if they're not, they understand that the levels are higher.
Okay, so let's assume the left and the right hand are touching. I raise my vibration so my left hand rises up. Now, the people who formerly matched me no longer match. So they have a choice. The right hand can rise up to meet me. They can stay where they're at and create trauma, or they can leave. And the leaving doesn't have to be anything dramatic. It's just, I'm
not friends with you anymore. Yeah.
You, as you're raising your vibration, have a choice. You can go higher. You can stay at that high level, or you can go down to where you were before.
Yeah.
Everybody
so do you what'd you say?
Everyone has choices.
Yes, 100%. So when you're walking down the street and you're speaking to strangers or whenever you're meeting people, do you constantly feel like, hey, what vibe they're on, what level they're at?
Not consciously, subconsciously, yes. Just like when you walk down the street and you're like, I think I'm going to cross the street right here.
Yeah.
You don't know why. There might be someone coming that you don't want to be with.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be a bus coming. It's going to kill you. So you took a left. Intuition. I mean, I don't know why I did that, but it was probably for a reason.
Yeah. It's very important to listen to your intuition and then take inspired action. When people do something, they think, I have to write a book, or I choose to write a book. Well, that means I have to sit down for an hour every day and I have to slave away at it. But that's not the way it works. If you're not having fun, then go out and do something to have fun, to boost your creativity so that when you come back, you've got ideas to write. But the intuition might be, I'm going to go take a walk. And then you overhear a conversation while you're on the walk. And that conversation is what your characters in your book are going to say next. So you got to rush home and write it all down. But you would not have known that if you hadn't taken the walk. And the inspired action was followed because you took the walk. It wasn't just a thought that went through your head and then you poo-pooed it with no, I have to sit and write.
And as you start doing it more and more, one thing leads to the next.
Yes.
Action after action throughout your entire day.
Yep.
All with a positive thinking and a positive mind.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. So before we get to our final question, where could life fixers connect with you, get your book, and just learn more about you?
I have a website, yeswithjoy.com or judithjoy.com. I'm on social media stuff. Not TikTok, though. That's not me.
Oh, you're missing out.
And then the book is available for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple, and Kobo.
Awesome. Okay, so those links will be in the show notes. Now, for our final question, how would you describe an extraordinary relationship without using, I'm going to make this one hard for you, love, intuition, and connection?
She talked about having the right feeling. It's all about the feeling. And our relationship is about feeling. I know that if I do something that's going to upset her, I know ahead of time. So I try to pull in that feeling so that I don't do that. We don't argue at all. I mean, we reason things out completely. So I would say just awareness of your total situation creates a great relationship.
Okay, so what he's not saying, behind the scenes stuff, is I feel the energy that I would like the relationship to be. And then I surround him with this energy. And I give him the possibility to step into it. And then I sort of put my thought into the energy. And then he'll come back and go, hey, did you think about da da da? Oh, yeah, sure. Great idea.
Yeah, like the keys in the boot.
But I send out what it is that I truly desire.
Does he go back to you?
Not really.
Oh, you're missing out.
But I can pretty much read them.
Oh, okay.
I'm really good at that. When my kids were younger and they'd be off at school or whatever, they'd call home and they'd say hello. And I knew exactly what was going on in their life from how they said hello. So
yeah,
I'm just intuitive.
Intuition. Okay, so what's your answer to the question?
Send out the energy that you would like it to be.
Beautiful. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Judith and Bruce. This was fun and interesting. And you guys explained things in such a clear way, but at the same time, just makes me laugh. So thank you. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate you as well.
That's all for this episode of the Life Fix University podcast, but I have a huge favor to ask of you that will not only support the show, but will also help the people you love most. We are striving for 1 million downloads by the end of 2025, and we can't do this without your help. If you love this episode, please share it with 2 of your family and friends so they too can rewire their brains to have an extraordinary marriage. It was awesome spending time with you, and I'll see you on the next episode.